Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. Well, I haven't done this in a minute, so I've taken a break. I actually haven't had a decent break from like charts and markets for a while. So when it came to like December, I just said, yeah, let me actually take a decent amount of time off. So I'm back now, nice and refreshed, and we'll obviously be looking to do these forecasts and outlooks every week. So my thing for this year is to try and be more on YouTube here and there. But anyways, enough of that. Let's start with BTC and crypto. So obviously we'll run through FX as well. But for now, we'll start with Bitcoin and see what's going on. If we quickly run through the yearly charts, obviously we've had a very nice bullish yearly close like so. I do think we likely continue higher. Right now there's no reason to fade the trend, so I've already cleared the chart, so I'll just stop putting my lines on. Obviously we've come and taken out this weekly sell side here. The weekly candle will close in about 10 hours, and I think price will likely just continue to run higher. If we also then go on the daily time frame, we now see that the EMAs price is closing above the daily EMAs, so higher chance of price to continue its uptrend. Go on the 12 hour as well, quite a similar story with the EMAs there as well. So basically I'm bullish BTC, bullish crypto. We've obviously had that aggressive sell-off back in December, and as we entered the last week of December and January, nothing much was going on. Obviously most bankers, institutions were on holiday, so there wasn't much to do in terms of price action to continue. We have seen a large move for most of last year. I do feel that we do still have more juice to push higher. I'm looking for BTC to likely run towards like 150k to like 170 and like top out around there. But of course we take things day by day, week by week. But essentially we are still bullish, and there's no reason to really go against that. If you're looking for perp longs, I'll probably say anywhere around like the 97k regions, you could easily get a long to continue higher, and then put your stop loss somewhere over here. But I do think that we'll be touching 100k quite soon, likely this week. But then how we react from 100k will really dictate where we go next. So that's a previous day high as well. So ideally, to keep pushing higher, we want to see price break above 100k, test it, and then keep pushing higher towards the 108, the previous all-time high. So looking back at this excessive move here, many people were looking for retracements back towards 84k. I'm not really looking for that. Of course it could happen, again anything can happen, but I don't think the momentum is really on the downside. And the reason I say that, if I bring up BTC dominance, so during that pullback across most of crypto during the holidays, we saw BTC dominance come and test this area of you can call it your, what would you call it, demand supply, but I don't really trade that. It's just to try and make it relevant. I keep things simple. So basically just this last up close candle on the weekly, price came into it, reacted, close, and now we're pulling lower. I do see BTCD continuing its push lower and likely to run back towards this area over here at about 47.25%, which with this pushing lower, that is the altcoins pushing higher, and then Bitcoin also likely running higher in itself, but not as quickly as it's done already. So we've already had a very large move in Bitcoin, like from the start of last year, or around the 30-40k region. We've done about, what's that in percentages? We've done about 170 odd percent. That's a big move. That's good enough. If you aren't positioned in BTC already, I don't really see much point in positioning yourself in BTC, even if it runs for like another. So my 150k, let's say 150k as a region. That's about 52%. The risk to reward isn't really worth that, in my opinion. There's many other better options like XRP, ETH, so which will give you a better risk to reward and better return. But basically, long story short, I'm looking for BTC to continue pushing higher, retest at 100k this week. If you look at XRP, quite a similar story. We've had a very aggressive pump from October. Weekly candle is about to close, engulfing the previous one. We are also bouncing from previous monthly candle body closures. We've also got on the yearly. This line here, see the close and the open. So this close and opens tend to be areas that are sensitive for price to react from, and this is on a yearly time frame. And as we see here, price has been reacting away from that line, and after that reaction, we've now pushed aggressively past with some inefficiency over here, with the daily EMA now looking to be bullish. So to me, XRP is likely due to have another run higher. My targets for XRP are ranging between $5 to like $7. I'll likely be looking to scale out completely of my XRP position at around like $7 or so, but I'll be taking partials from the all-time high and above. So I think we still have a way to go with XRP. But again, if you aren't positioned in XRP already from the lows, you can still buy around here, but it has to be short term. We can't have that long term mentality anymore, especially with XRP and BTC, because large moves have already occurred. So moves come in stages. You have run up, consolidation, run up, probably one more consolidation, and then a final push higher. So we're now likely entering nearing the last stages of the bull market, in my opinion. I don't think I want to be holding crypto past like Q1, Q2. Again, it depends. I'll see how the market behaves, but I don't want to have crypto going into summer. I'd rather be out completely as winter ends and we enter spring. But yeah, so XRP, quite simple really. If I do this again, just to be clear, we've tapped away from the monthly candle body closures. Price has reacted away from it. One test, two test, slight test here, pushed away, rejected. Now trading above the EMAs, likely for price to retest here and push higher as the candle on the weekly closes, and then we run higher again. Very simple. Then ETH, similar story as well. So yearly candle bullish, likely that we continue running higher again, test the all-time high and above. If we look at, I believe it's the daily, yeah, cool. So this previous daily sell side, price broke above. Notice how we rejected over here, pushed away, and now we're back above. And the break above was done with aggression, and aggression is seen with FEGs being present. So now that we have that, and we also have price trading above the daily EMAs and 12-hour EMA as well, likely that we now start pushing higher as well on ETH. Very similar story across crypto right now. I think that we run higher personally, and obviously with this weekly close as well, it's quite a good structure to see price push higher. Of course, we have these wicks. Well, it's not clear on the daily. We have this wick here, and wicks like to be filled, but right now I don't see a reason for that wick to be taken. If you notice here, we've already taken sell side over here, and we've already reacted from this cluster as well. So there's not much need for ETH to test the lows. We're now looking more likely to run higher. And then lastly, we will have Solana as well. Again, similar story. Nice yearly close, weekly looking to close bullish as well. We've come back into this down close candle here, bounced away from it. From that bounce, we had some consolidation, break above aggressive. FEGs have to show inefficiency. We've flipped the EMA as well. Likely again, we pull lower and then keep running higher as well. So that's the story for crypto right now. I'm bullish, still bullish in terms of the bull market. I think we still have another 2-3 months to really milk it. I think the volume that will come will be quite quick and fast. Don't get too greedy with it. Take your partials, take your profits, and bank some money, because I do feel like we are coming towards that end stage of the bull market where we get quite an aggressive push and then we're done. But I think we still have a way to go. So there's no panic, no rush, but just be aware and have a plan to exit and where you want to be cautious of. So have your areas planned out. Of course, I'll keep the free Telegram channel updated, but right now I think we're quite bullish. Even with USDT.D, this fucking acronym always gets me tongue twisted. But yeah, right now, bearish structure. So weekly about to close bearish. We've reacted and rejected away from the weekly buy side and this FEG here as well. So if I draw it like so, you will see where we are rejecting right now. FEG, weekly pulling away, daily EMAs bearish. Everything is now looking to be a continuation of the bear trend for USDT.D. So simply, I think we see this, and that is an inverse of BTC looking to push higher as well. So just simple look of the charts is showing that we're likely to run higher on crypto. Just be patient with your coins. Not all coins are going to push as high as others. Some will outperform, some won't. Just be aware of your winners and ensure that you're making the most out of those winners, because the top of your portfolio, the highest P&L may not be what you end up with at the end of it, but just make sure that you are ready to take profit and not get too greedy. That's the general advice that I can give for now. But yeah, cool. Crypto bullish, so we'll see how the week goes. I favor ETH and XRP for some longs. XRP mainly. I'm focusing a lot on the XRP chain. Longs from around here will be quite good. Cool. Now back to TradFi, traditional markets. So I already see some setups forming. So obviously let's start with the dollar, of course. So the key thing to note in regards to the dollar and FX right now is the change in the Federal Reserve's rate cut path. So back in December, so I'll bring this up first. So back in December, the last FOMC meeting that we had on the 18th, I think, on the 18th, we saw the Fed cut rates. We've gone from 4.75% to 4.5. So that's a 0.25% cut in rates. Now, the key thing here was the FOMC projections. So basically, if I see, so basically, long story short, the Fed cut rates, but they changed their dot plot in terms of how many cuts they were going to do in 2025, so this year, and they reduced it. I believe that they halved the amount of rate cuts that they're going to do. I think it was prior, it was meant to be 4 or 5, now it's like 2 or 3. Again, this can change based on how inflation performs, but long story short, the Fed are now reinforcing the higher for longer and slow rate cut narrative. That is bullish for dollar, because the higher rates stay and the slower the pace of rate cuts, the more inflow would go into the global reserve currency, as savings accounts in the US will tend to have a higher yield and people would want to keep their money in their bank accounts, so more money in the dollar. So again, Slower rate cut, higher rates, bullish dollar. Hence why we saw that aggressive move from the dollar right at the FOMC. So here we see on the 18th of December. So if you see right here at the bottom of the screen, 18th of December, push up and dollar is bullish. So looking at fundamentals, technicals, we see here we had bullish weekly close, daily EMAs or bullish. I think price just simply continues higher. There's no need to fight the trend. It's clearly we are in a bullish structure. Higher highs, higher lows, dollar is bullish. So now that we have established a narrative for the dollar, so narrative is twofold, based on fundamentals, being the slow rate cut path, and based on technicals, being the bullish structure. Now we know that we would not ideally look for sales on risk on assets like EU. So EU right here, weekly bearish close, daily bearish EMAs. We've now closed below this previous swing point here. And when we've closed it with an FEG as well, this will likely turn into resistance. So I'm ideally looking for EU to come and test this area here and push back below. So if I highlight the FEG as well, there we go. That's essentially what I am looking for. So I'm looking for EU to come and test this area here, then pull lower. Look at the 12-hour, we see that the EMAs are also bearish. So basically tomorrow, I don't trade Monday London session. So essentially I'm going to wait to see what London does tomorrow. Wait for the 12-hour candle to close, ideally to test this region here. And then if the setup forms, I'll be looking to short. I hate when it does this. I'll be looking to short something like this back towards the lows overhead. That's the general plan for EU. So I'm looking for EU sells. Now with GJ, I'm looking for GJ sells. So before I go into GJ, I'll bring up JPYX, so the Japanese index. Looking at the weekly close here, so I'll just clear these lines for you quickly. Bullish weekly close within the FEG. So price could do two things: either react away immediately from the FEG and pull lower, or look to test the weekly high first. I'm leaning more towards the weekly high being tested. Looking at the candle closure, we've closed engulfing above the previous week's candle. I think we likely come and test the previous week's high. Now, we are still within the daily EMAs, but we've swept this daily sell side here. I'll mark it up. And the 12-hour is showing, once it loads, I'm waiting for the EMAs to load. I'm not sure why it's not loading. Okay, that's why. So 2 seconds. Don't know why I didn't save over, but that is fine. Quick adjustment. There we go. Cool. 12-hour EMA is showing that price could look to potentially bounce off of this and push to test this previous high over here, which is the weekly high. And it also coincides with this previous swing point here. So essentially, I'm looking for price on JPYX to push a bit higher. Now bring back to GJ, I'm looking for GJ to push lower. So looking at daily close, we are below the daily EMAs. 12-hour EMAs are also pushing bearish, and the weekly has also given us a bearish engulfing close. So likely, I see the weekly low getting taken. Therefore, I'm simply looking for price to retest somewhere into here and then push lower to clear out these lows and this low over here as well. Very simple. So I'm looking for sales on GJ. Then UJ, I'm not really looking to touch UJ just yet, mainly because although there could be a slight pullback on JPYX invertly with this rising, this falling, the dollar is still very bullish. So I would rather not try and short UJ, as obviously we are still in a bullish structure. So UJ is of no interest for me as of yet. I'm focusing my attention on EU shorts and GJ shorts. Another reason why GJ is a better short is because with dollar strength, you have weakness in the pound and the euro. So that weakness is being displayed. So I'd rather be selling pound yen. Very simple. Now with gold, I'm actually looking for short-term gold longs. So looking at gold's yearly candle close, aggressive bullish candle close, we likely see a pullback throughout the year before any sort of continuation. Now looking at the weekly, decent weekly close, not the most bullish close, but I feel like we can take this high over here. So if I put my lines back on, we have this weekly sell side over here that price has bounced from several times. 1, 2, 3. That bounce from this weekly sell side has caused price to aggressively push above the daily EMAs and also above the 12-hour EMAs with several FEGs to show that there has been a displacement of price, and we are likely to come and test back up into this previous high that was created. So for gold, I'm looking ideally for price to come into this area here, bounce, and then run to these highs. That area is also a FEG here as well, and you see on the daily as well. So essentially that's all that I'm looking for. I'm looking for gold to push back into here, react, and then push up to this high. Do I think price will keep pushing further? I'm not too sure, and I don't think so. So once that move higher, if it comes through and it occurs, we now look at, I believe it is on the daily, yeah, how we've taken this high on the daily here, and then we have this FEG on the daily here. Should price come to lows and then test up here, I will then be looking to see a reaction away from here. Looking at the structure, I don't think we take the all-time high just yet. Of course we might, it's not certain, but I feel like if we look at the yearly close, I would like to favor a pull lower first before testing the high. Candles tend to pull and form the bottom wick first before reaching the high most times, but of course that doesn't have to occur. And also looking at how this weekly has closed, it's not the most bullish candle. It's bullish enough to reach and test the high, but is it enough to test these highs up here? I'm not too sure, and we'll see how news and events occur. But for now, I just want a short-term long into here, and then we'll just look to revisit. But yeah, that's the general outlook of what I'm looking to play this week. So again, quick recap. I'm looking for EU shorts from this region over here. I'm looking for GJ shorts from this region over here, like so. UJ, I'm ignoring it, and I'm looking for short-term gold longs from here back up into here. Of course, everything is dependent on how Monday session plays out during London, but that's the general bias. I'm looking for XRP longs from here, and BTC will likely also continue. I'm not trading BTC because there's not great risk to reward, so I'm focusing more on XRP and potentially ETH as well, with a long from here into here. So yeah, that's the general plan for the week. I hope that you could take something that is tangible away. Any questions, just drop me a message, comment, or of course the link to the free Telegram will be in the description as well. I hope that this year is another great year for everyone. Take things one day at a time, 1 week at a time. Don't get lost in the noise. There will be quite a lot of noise throughout the months and weeks as usual. But yeah, just stick to your plan, manage your risk, and let's have a great year. Take care, and I'll see you next week.